We begin tonight in Mandera, where at least 9 people have been killed in the last 12 hours.
That's right, and this happened in renewed inter-clan fighting. During the latest flare-up in Gofa location, 7 other people were seriously injured.
Similar attacks are reported in Guba and Ogorwain locations, where the number of those affected is yet to be confirmed.
KTN's Ian Wafula is staying with that tragic story that is still unfolding.
As early as 6 a.m., it is reported that militia stormed 3 locations within Mandera North constituency, that is Gofa, Guba and Ogorwain locations. It is reported that they shot indiscriminately, after which they torched houses. Reports from the ground also indicate that these militiamen are heavily armed with sophisticated weapons. We had a chance to talk to Gofa Assistant Chief, who confirmed that 9 people had died and 7 others seriously injured. Here is an excerpt from that earlier on conversation.
Hatujapata usaidizi yote kutoka serikali. Polisi hakuna, hata kutoka Red Cross, kutoka wapi.
Due to the communication breakdown within the region, we were not able to confirm whether there are any casualties from these other 2 locations. But just to bring you up to speed, the recent attacks began in Ramu town, where gunmen stormed the town, took control of it, and gunshots were heard for as long as 7 hours. The County Commissioner Alex Nkoyo confirmed that at least 6 people had died from this. Later on that night, an ambulance belonging to the Kenya Red Cross was attacked, and one of their staff was injured. Luckily, they managed to escape from the gunmen and were later on saved by police. Interestingly, the following day, another ambulance belonging to the Kenya Red Cross was also attacked, and both of the vehicles were rendered non-functional. This prompted the organization to make serious decisions, considering that 43 people had been reported injured from Ramu town. The organization decided to stop its operation from Ramu sub-county. This conflict between the Gare and the Godia has received condemnation from both local and political leaders, with now the Kenya Women's Parliamentary Association urging the national government to intervene. Take a look.
We cannot continue firefighting and people losing their lives and the government watching.
And there is a woman that I know who has been bleeding for more than 72 hours. There is nothing which can be done. There is no immediate response. Even in such a situation, Red Cross cannot assist.
Since May, at least 100 people have died and 100,000 people have been displaced from their homes. Tomorrow, my colleague Hussein Mohammed and I are heading to Mandera, and we shall be bringing you updates on what is happening. We shall also get a chance to air the plight of those people who have mostly been affected by this conflict, with the hope that something will be done before more lives are lost. Ian Wafula, KTN, Nairobi.
Now, apart from insecurity, Mandera County, just like the other 46, is dealing with yet another crisis: money. The Governors Council now says all 47 counties are broke and won't be able to pay public servants August salaries just yet. The council's chairman, Isaac Ruto, maintains that the national government has not disbursed funds to the counties since the beginning of the current financial year. KTN's Wilkis Tanyabo reports now on the crisis that has been compounded by a health worker strike in parts of the country.
With only 5 days left until the month ends, the country's 47 counties are scrambling to find money to pay their workers. The salary arrears in some counties go back 2 months, and the Council of Governors now warns the August salaries are likely to be delayed.
The funds for this financial year 2014-2015 have not yet been released to the counties 2 months into the new financial year. Once again, the counties are faced with the challenge of raising salaries for the month of August 2014.
A total of 227 billion shillings was set aside for the counties in the 2014-2015 financial year. This, Ruto claims, is yet to reach the counties.
As was the case at the end of July, county governments are trying to make contingent arrangements, including borrowing, to pay salaries where this will be possible. However, we cannot make an undertaking that there will be salaries for this month.
Services in some counties have already ground to a halt. In Mombasa County, health workers downed their tools. The Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Nurses, Seth Panyako, officially announced the strike, which comes after nurses at the Coast General Hospital began a go-slow protesting the lack of supplies and non-payment of their July salaries. And though the Mombasa County government maintains that the workers will receive their salary arrears this month, the statement from the Council of Governors now paints a different picture.
We will be seeking to amend the Public Finance Management Act to provide for smooth transition from one financial year to the other with regard to payment of staff salaries in the counties and other operating expenses, including account dues due to creditors.
Health Cabinet Secretary James Macharia has urged the counties to act fast to resolve the issue.
They must do more to give Kenyans assurance that indeed they are ready for this function. Because when you have this kind of issues arising, it does not augur very well with the confidence Kenyans have with the county governments.
This as the end of August looms, and with it uncertainty over whether public servants in counties across the country shall receive their dues this month. Wilkinson Abwa, KTN.
Money troubles at the counties with just a few days to the end of the month. And tonight we are asking, should the national government bail out the counties in paying salaries?
That's right. Let us know what you think should be done. You can share your opinion with us by sending us an SMS 22155, or you can tweet us at KTN Kenya, at Kachingera, and at Wilson_Mburu. We'll let you know what you're saying towards the end of this bulletin. Now, at the top of this newscast, we did tell you about our in-depth look at the state of reform 4 years after the Constitution was promulgated. That will be coming your way in less than half an hour. But even before that stock-taking, that battle to change that very document went to court earlier today. A group of clergymen are seeking to stop the opposition coalition CORD from pursuing its referendum agenda. This as the Council of Governors Chairman Isaac Ruto vowed to continue with his referendum push. Here's Sam Ogina with the details.
The men of cloth petitioned the High Court to stop CORD from advancing its referendum exercise. In challenging the quest, the ministers want CORD crusaders barred from conducting the cause. Reverend John Mbugwa and two others argue the country conducted an election not long ago in March 2013, and it's not right for CORD to keep the country in an electioneering mood barely 2 years after. They want CORD principals Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka and Moses Wetangula and their respective allies permanently stopped from conducting the exercise. High Court Judge Isaac Lenaola directed the clergy to serve CORD leaders with the suit papers before the 8th of October, when the matter is set for mention. At the same time, Nairobi Senator Mike Sonko wants the CORD leaders charged with contempt of court. Sonko claims the leaders defied a court order barring them from making inflammatory speeches during their Saba Saba celebration. In his suit, Sonko has singled out 4 CORD senators he claimed made remarks undermining the presidency, remarks he insists were insightful. Sam Ogina, KTN.
To follow up of the investigative series Jicho Pevu and the inside story that aired on KTN last night, security experts are now warning against what they call unacceptable contradictions in government statements over national security. The analysts were reacting to President Uhuru Kenyatta's seemingly conflicted intelligence reports on the cause of the Lamu attacks. His handlers have since denied that he made any contradictory statements over the incidents. KTN's Ben Kitili now reports on this.
It was the aftermath of the attack in Peketoni. Unknown assailants had slaughtered tens in a night raid. And as the Kenyan North Coast shook with terror, Kenyans were eager for word from the state on this latest attack. But President Uhuru Kenyatta's statement on Lamu at State House, Nairobi, left many Kenyans with more questions than answers.
Evidence indicates that local political networks were involved in the planning and execution of the heinous crime.
A few weeks later, and following much bickering in Parliament over whether or not the Lamu attacks were political, in an exclusive interview with NTV, President Kenyatta seemingly changed his stance.
Did not say that there was no Al-Shabaab involvement. We said there was indeed
Al-Shabaab involvement, but in conjunction with local networks.
This has drawn sharp criticism from security experts who say such contradictions do not augur well with Kenya's war on terror.
People who are already not happy will feel they will relate more with the sentiments of the terrorists because of that. So that whole image issue must be managed very, very clearly and with a focus that itself could win or cause us to lose a battle, if not physically, at least in the minds and hearts of the people who are being governed.
Blame has been heaped on Kenya's intelligence gathering mechanisms, and the ostensible lack of coordination during the Lamu crisis only did good to worry Kenyans some more. The President's Director of Digital Communication, Dennis Itumbi, tried to explain away the apparent blunder, but even Itumbi's efforts bore little fruit. Security experts insist that such contradictions must not happen again if Kenya is to win the war on terror. Ben Kitili, KTN.
The news tonight, famous Bukusu boyfriend Timothy Kamala has finally been offered a job.
Yes, we've got this and other stories in our county briefs.
Businessman and former Cabinet Secretary Dr. Njoroge Mungai was today laid to rest at his home in Kiambu County in a ceremony attended by President Uhuru Kenyatta, former President Mwai Kibaki and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Uhuru called on CORD leader Raila Odinga to support him in working towards development of Kenya.
Let us not waste a lot of time quarreling between ourselves. There is too much quarrel between ourselves. And the people who are dedicated like Dr. Mungai and others who spend time trying to make sure that every Kenyan available put his energy and everything else into making Kenya greater.
I look forward to continuing to partner and to work with my fellow Kenyans in the same spirit that people like Dr. Mungai did. And President Kibaki has said here that we don't have time, for squabbling and fighting amongst each other. Let us pull together. And I can see my brother Raila here today. Yeah, I can assure him I have no problem. I look forward to working with him.
So this great Kenyan who has played a great role in politics, in education, in business in this country, to show what enterprise can actually do to a country like ours. So he's done it, he's shown it in practice. Rest, please, rest in peace. Brother Njoroge Mungai.
In Webuye, the now famous interracial couple Timothy Kamala and Sirika Patel have yet another reason to be happy. This after the Maraka Ward member of County Assembly offered Timothy a job as a clerk in Bungoma County. Ali Machani Balala said support was being given to the couple that defied cultural odds to be together for them to be able to have the wedding of their dreams. The Nairobi Securities Exchange has posted a 29% drop in profits in the first 6 months ahead of self-listing its shares next month. During the 6-month period, the exchange's pre-tax profit stood at 158 million shillings, down from the 223 million shillings that was posted last year. According to the exchange, the profit drop was occasioned by the factoring in of a one-off debt of 114 million shillings that appeared in 2013 half-year results. Had that not been the case, the company would have recorded a 46% growth during that period. The NSE's total income was, however, up 26% to 353 million shillings on the back of strong equity trades during the period. The NSE launched an IPO in July, selling 66 million shares to the public at 9 shillings and 50 cents. The shares are expected to begin trading on the 12th of September. And the Kenya Reinsurance Corporation has become the first national financial institution to invest in the Pan-Africa insurer Africa Trade Insurance. Kenya Re bought a 0.9% stake at a cost of 87.5 million shillings, securing 10 shares in the political and trade risk insurer that is valued at $185 million. The deal will see Kenya Re receive dividends from ATI and access new markets, particularly in West Africa. ATI is looking to recruit shareholders from the 16-member-strong economic communities of West African states, ECOWAS, which will not only net the Pan-Africa insurer more capital, it will also boost underwriting volumes and enhance development of insurance in the underserved region. The partnership comes as Africa experiences increased demand for insurance and reinsurance thanks to rising foreign direct investment flows that are estimated to hit $80 billion this year. Both ATI and Kenya also anticipating a boom in business following last month's U.S. Africa Trade Forum that saw Africa sign deals worth 2.9 trillion shillings.
To invest in ATI, Kenya Re's investments, together with others we're expecting, will enhance our capacity to underwrite more business, thus enabling ATI to support more investment and trade projects in Africa.
One would expect both a growth in the capacity of a combined capacity that is available to this investment, and on the investment side also Kenya Re would expect to leave dividends from ATI, because we believe those initiatives will produce positive results by way of profits.
Kosirai girls in Malava, who beat Trust Secondary, have qualified for the volleyball quarterfinals at the ongoing Brookside School Games in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Upper Hill beat Lubiri, have alongside Shimba Hills confirmed their quarterfinal tickets in the boys category. Shimba defeated Jitegeme Secondary 29-23 in basketball to also sail through. Victor Ogale reports from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
Kisumude will blame themselves if they do not progress in the boys' football. The Lakeside team, who on Tuesday morning played Melio from Tanzania to a barren draw, could have scored numerous goals but failed to utilize their chances. Their earlier match with Njoroge School from Zanzibar was called off due to darkness with only 17 minutes to go on Monday. Kisumude were in the same group as Njoroge School will on Wednesday play regional defending champion St. Mary's Chitende from Uganda.
Mawasiliano hapa si mzuri kwa sababu kama tuna game kesho na hatujui ni saa ngapi. Kulikuwa na fixture ile kulingana na ile program ambayo walikuwa wametuandalia, tena kidogo jana wakaibadilisha hiyo program. Sasa sijui kesho itakuwaje. Saa kidogo katika kujipanga kitimu kwa sababu ya mechi inakuwa si mzuri.
In volleyball, Malava girls together with Kosirai qualified for the quarterfinals after Malava girls beat Trust from Tanzania by 3-0. In basketball, Upper Hill defeated Lubiri from Uganda by 74 points to 49. While their female counterparts, Shimba Hills beat Jitegeme from Tanzania by 29 points to 23. Meanwhile, the media in the host city of Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, appear not to pay any great attention to the school games here. Journalists from Kenya, Uganda and South Sudan present have taken center stage at the games village. Not even local daily newspapers dedicate space like their Kenyan counterparts have. A local newspaper journalist, Juma Mgosi, explains why they perceive disinterest by local scribes from covering the regional championships.
Sasa anaangalia kipato. Umeona, anaweza akaja hapa akachapisha magazeti hapa na asiuze, labda akienda labda pembeni na hapa akichapisha magazeti ya pembeni anauza.
Out of the over 10 dailies in Tanzania, only Mwanaspoti had an article on the games.
Wanaona kama wanafunzi watulima nani labda waongeze kipato chochote kupitia kwa wanafunzi. Kwa ndio maana sababu kubwa ndio hiyo, labda kwa sababu ni wanafunzi.
The time to separate the men from the boys is getting nigh as some of the teams were bundled out of the East African School Games, with their opponents getting tickets to sail through to the quarterfinals. Victor Ogale, KTN, at the Dar es Salaam National Stadium, Tanzania.
Well, we did ask you whether you believe whether the national government should bail out the county governments for them to be able to pay the salaries that they are not able to pay at this time because, as the Council of Governors said, they have no money. And I believe that we have a couple of responses.
Yes, we do. We have a poll result as well. Let's just give you that. 67% say yes and only 33% say no. Well, let's take a look at some of your SMSs. One here from Maseno. In Busia, he says, yes, let the national government devolve services. County governments should just supervise them. But the salary should be paid by the national government. Counties are unable to account for money allocated to them. Another one here coming in from Vincent Odwogo from Migori County. And he says, what do you mean by bailouts to the county governments? It's a constitutional right which should not be seen as a favor. These are just dirty tricks by some enemies of the devolved government. And another one here from, this is Salim, who calls himself a concerned citizen, and he says the national government should definitely take over the health ministry with immediate effect based on what we're seeing happening in terms of county funds.